Yes, thanks, Neil. And for Glenelg, you can see they very much came to a halt in that quarter with Michael Rhodes with 2, Neely and Cook with 1 each. And for the Eagles, Passador with 3, Regalo with 2, Pesh, Jeffries, Filippo, Ellis with 1 each.
And the stats, quickly through those, the Eagles pretty much dominating through that second term and dominating overall on the stats. And, gee, it's been quite a match so far, although they're leading at the moment at half-time, the Eagles, by 27 points after trailing by 4 points at quarter-time. We're going to have a look now back in 1999 at the qualifying final between these two clubs. A very exciting match. Watch out for the mark by Sujay Cook.
Hill ran his bowl. Chance here for the Tigers. The ball suits. It will, and it does to Higgins. Higgins brings up the first major of the afternoon for the Tigers. A great start.
Punched away by Gigney. Rode by Pavlik's left foot goal. Tarsak, the young man.
Tony once again picking up possessions in the second quarter. Lovely pass forward to Melody. Melody gets the kick as he's pushing behind. Has he had the accuracy? I think he might have. He's happy with the kick. Tight on the boundary line as McGregor just puts it up. Any breezes there. Oh, Wiggins has come in. So Wiggins puts it on its way. Comes in ball, can see Corns out of the corner of his eye. Corns couldn't quite get to the contest. Around his body. Look at this kick by Corns. A lovely pass by Chad Corns. It's over the top of Hill. Good work by Palmer. Terrific handball. This releases Dillon. Dillon from 15 metres out, directly in front. Should have brought the goal square to park. I don't think he has. Oh, he has! Colville from 50 unleashes the big one. At the back of the bag is Pyman. Oh, Pyman. He's come on. Very disciplined in his approach. I think he might have snared this. The umpire will come in. The 2 fingers go up as a goal to Pyman. That's his first. The Eagles are back in this game.
Whelan had the kick smothered. Ugrinik comes back inboard. Clever handball to Floriani. He shoots for goal. It's back within 4 points. The Eagles are on a roll. Can Glenelg defend this?
Thump across. Matty Kluzak over the shoulder. Oh, he punches the air. There's Matthew Kluzak. That's only one side. He's kicked another major.
They're in front.
The boys are in front.
Machoni, 25 out, clears and goals. They're back in front, the Tigers. This really is a contest, a real arm wrestle. Glenelg are giving it everything.
Pearce to Kluzak. Kluzak inboard. Going back hard was Gigney. Not hard enough. Was again that man of the moment. Concentrates on the delivery now. Comes forward, 2, 3, 4 steps. Releases the football. Well, the Tigers' flags aren't waving. The Eagles' ones are. It's another goal. They're back in front. Holds the ball down. He's had an outstanding season of football. Puts it high. It's into the teeth of the breeze here. Jumpers are there. Kluzak, also Biglands. We're looking for a soccer off the ground. I think there was one there. We'll wait and see. Thank you. 2 fingers to go up. It's a goal. Just pushes the ball forward to Colville. An opportunity here. McCartney runs in from 55 metres and drills one home. McCartney from centre half back.
Now in turn, it's Jamison. They're mounting a charge, Glenelg. It's heel, straight, and long towards McAtee. He's got it. That's a mark. 26 goals, 14 for the year. Heads their goal kicking, and this is a very important kick. The Glenelg fans like it. The goal umpire likes it. Can they mount a challenge? That's his second.
Wants to get the ball moving. Gives it across the Carr. Carr needs support through the midfield. Looks up. He's kicked to the biggest man on the field.
Oh! Mark of the year. Easy. Straight over the top.
The Cook. It's a high ball. At the back is Jamison. He takes the mark. Jamo. It's a drop punt. It's on its way and it's accurate. They're back in this game, the Tigers. We're back to a 4-point ball game.
20 goals, 13 for the year. Lobs it right in the square. It's a mark to Matty Kluzak. Brotherly love. And this one takes the Eagles into the second semi-final against Port Adelaide next week.
11-point margin there. in the qualifying final 1999. Of course, the Eagles followed up in the 2 following years by playing off in the grand final, Andrew, in the Bays. Well, it was all downhill. But, gee, that mark by Sujay Cook was something special, wasn't it? Just have a look at that. Virtually all leap.
Yeah, just had all the momentum. Just watch that. You can see me just in the background there. Just watch it. It was a magnificent leap. I'd never seen anyone get up really that high before.
We had a first-hand look at it, at least. And tell you what, this afternoon, Dale Ellis, something to talk about as well for the Bays, or rather for the Eagles. Quite a mark. We see this one, and got a good leap and went sideways and still managed to pull the ball down.
Yeah, a wonderful leap. Just it's all natural spring as well. Just gets a knee into Paul Sherwood, just pushes off him and takes it cleanly in the hands. And important for the Eagles, went back and kicked the goal, which just enabled them to get some sort of momentum going into that second quarter.
Yeah, just eyes on the ball, and he was aware of the player. Didn't take his eyes off the ball, though, and took a great mark. Just about set for a start in the second half. It's the Eagles by 27 points over the Bays, but still quite a contest. Here's Michael Maney.
Thanks, Neil. Yes, it is a contest, and first goal of this third term also important. There's the umpire just waiting for them to settle. Holds the ball aloft. Underway in the second half to complete round 11 of SANFL football. The Eagles by 27. Not a real good bounce. Knocked away by Lindsay. Shirley couldn't quite get it. Out of there, Jeffries. Sikalala taken by Shirley, so the Eagles go forward. McLaughlin, who's had a few touches on that outer side wing, kicks long. Nicholas just overran the footy. Pass it off, dishes it off to Skipworth. He's caught with a football, stood up in the tackle and went to Regolo. Regolo got to Shirley. Shirley lines them up and misses just to the near side. Early foray forward to the Eagles. And Rob Shirley from 35 probably should have kicked that.
Yeah, just an aspect of Rob Shirley's game that lets him down. The Eagles should have been away, had the first goal on the board, and they would have been away. Just gives Glenelg some sort of reprieve, and now they can settle a bit and hopefully push it down to their forward line and get a much-needed goal.
Simon Nicholas with the mark from the kick-in. Just assessing. Statham's wide. That's where he comes, in front of the grandstand. He's forced to stop. That's not what the Bays will want to do. I'm sure David Noble has told them to use the play on. And that kick will just carry. Henschel got rid of his man and then took the mark. In the middle of the ground, well, the Eagles, there's no doubt they'll be running. McLaughlin, who's very quick, just takes a look up forward. Passador comes on the lead and almost there. Doesn't quite get to him. Well done by Sherwood. Broke a tackle. Then out towards the wing. Well done by the Bays. They've cleared the area. And Ahmat has a look back inside centre half forward. His kick aims for and finds Kruger in the end. Well done. Good stretch by the young man. Just 19 years of age. Kruger waiting. In the end, Smith signals, goes long. Smith uses the body, then off the ground. No, just wide and dribbles into the post, out of bounds.
And Brad Smith, all he was looking for there was a one-on-one. And as I said, Stephen Hall is a master of these wrestling manoeuvres. And he'll play that game all day.
Could have been an Olympian in wrestling, perhaps, Stephen Hall. He's on the ground now, claims one high. Umpire said, no, we'll play on. And now it'll bounce it down just 20 metres out from the Eagles' defensive goal face. Picture of concentration. The umpire, Matthew Johnson, bounces it down. Sikalala bursts through the pack. Now Hall again. Ball loose, Sikalala. Good poise. Robert Shirley comes down the grandstand flank again. Sets it up. The Bays work hard. Back well, sucked two in and then gave it over the top to Moore. Moore centres up the ball. Not the greatest of kicks. Didn't really advantage his side. They were good enough to get it though, the Bays. Michael Radis in trouble. Hand pass off quickly. Ahmat off the left foot is away and astray again.
Just disappointing there for John Floriani, who worked hard to shepherd Mark Jeffries off the footy so he could take the mark, eventually back ball, and there's Neil caught it beautifully. Two players went to one player. That's enabled. Thing we just get it's a free kick inside here. Something's going. The umpire's going to report someone here.
Simon Nicholas is the man who's had his number taken. And umpire Rowson's got the quickest book in the business at the moment.
It's going to get riders' cramp if it continues at this rate.
You run out of ink. Well, totally off the ball. The players were huddling. Paul was about to bring it into play. And the free kick was is it'll be taken at half back, and it'll go to Jeffries. Is Jeffries involved in that again? As Pesh comes off, looks like he's hobbling. And an ankle by the looks of things. We'll get an injury update from Sodas in just a moment. So a 50-metre penalty, so McLaughlin's the man with the ball at half back for the Eagles. All very confusing, that one. Looks for Lindsay. Costa in the front. Rove beautifully by O'Hara. He got it out to Jeffries, who just couldn't bend. Kicked it off the ground. Moore, the beneficiary of that. Taken by Costa. This gets the clearance away. He's got a man in Backwell. He's got to go hard. Well done, McLaughlin. Just come across in front of the pack. Well done, Backwell. Second effort was terrific. They dive again. Backwell again. Sikalala pushes him in the back. And a free kick will go to the Bays. And the crowd think they might have been hard done by. It'll go to Nicholas. 14-7 in favour of the Eagles. Long kick. No one can take it. Or just about snared it off the back of there. Taken by Hall. Just throws it on the boot. Nearly versus Sikalala. Sikalala plays for the free. No free kick. Dives on the footy. He gets a push in the back. And he'll get the free kick.
Well, that's consistency there, I suppose. The umpire paid in front of the grandstand. Justin Clear working really hard against Billy Neely for every possession he gets.
Leal, good spot up. Matthews quickly off. Allison's a left footer. This favours him. Puts it up in front of the goal face. Big leap across the front. Filippo just knocked away. Coming in and roving, it was Powell. The hand pass out to Passador. Around the corner. He's paid to kick goals. And that's a good result for Passador. He has his fourth of the afternoon. Mark Passador. Good recruit for the Eagles.
And here's an opportunity, Sam. Wonderful play to the back line. Set it all up. There's the kick into the hot spot by Paul Allison. Sam Filippo couldn't quite hang on to the mark. And off the back, and finally it works its way to Passador. Turns it around the corner. Ever the opportunist. And he's cooked 4 goals in an interesting duel with Paul Sherwood.
Just the 5 kicks for Passador.
Just hooked that one round beautifully. Goal umpire Cam shows that, and as Andrew Rogers said, he's paid to kick goals, or Neil said he's paid to kick goals. He's been good up there. Glenelg pushed forward, couldn't score, and as soon as the Eagles take it down, they score. Out of the centre, Shirley. There's a man on the overlap in Jeffries. Wobbling ball. Can't get the handle. Got it now. Just runs off, half back. Kicks to half forward. Lindsay was the target. Over his head. Passador. Taken by Sherwood. This way, that way. Passador couldn't hold on to Raidus. That's Damien Raidus. Out they come. Culprit. Gives it back to Raidus. Raidus off a step. Kicks forward. Knocked away by Henschel, who's been good at back. Taken by Jeffries. Cook couldn't go with the football. Dives on Powell. Lock it up. Ball up.
Glenelg seem to have had an instruction to handball. They handballed a lot more just in the early stage. You can see 5 or 6 handballs in a row. And just like to see the ball carrier who's being protected. If he put his head down, just protect him umpire.
O'Hara, double-hander, down to Shirley, to Henschel. Uses the left leg, spots up Powell. He's got to go. Well done by Panozzo. Got a hand in on that. Rove well by Powell. He's got a man loose in Shirley. Handball spots him up. He's got Floriani running for him. Floriani will run inside 50. He lines them up, Johnny Floriani. And he'll miss everything, I think.
Yes, John Floriani would not be the most reliable kick in the Eagles thing, and just had to settle there and just control his leg. He's had, I suppose, a history of kicking has never been his strong point.
Mills, almost set up by that hand pass, was good enough to get away and good enough to, well, I don't think that was the aim, but he got it to Moore anyway. Here's Neely, running free. You won't see much of that because normally he'll be on Sikalala like a blanket. Smith perhaps could have taken that. In the end, the tap forward didn't quite work. Regains it. He's in a lot of trouble. The umpire will come in and asked for the ball.
Yeah, I don't ever like to see a player actually pat the footy. Take the footy in your hands and then give off, or turn back inside. Take your lot in life.
Raidus round the corner off the left foot, kicking towards his brother. It was Damien to Michael. And Michael looking downfield, having a few words for Damien as well. Ball out of bounds, just in front of that scoreboard. Just a bit cool for that this afternoon, I would have thought, the old ice cream. Never mind, that boy has no feeling anyway. He's got a T-shirt on, and let me tell you, it's a bit too cool for that as well. Smith out of the ruck, just kicks it forward. Hall tracks it across and escorts it over the line in the forward pocket right for Glenelg.
He's pretty keen to Ken. They didn't want any Stephen Hall. You could see he was quite happy to run that over the line. He'll go back to a 50-50 contest here.
Wait for the throw in. Smith gets to the front, taps it down. Hall, as you can hear, being called to get the ball. He does get the ball, breaks free. Off the left leg, not a bad pass. Phillippo on the lead, and a good late fist coming in there from Kruger. Gets it over the line. The Bays remain with a chance of scoring here. It's just outside the forward 50, about 60 metres from goal. Good stretch by Kruger.
Yeah, what, just to make a contest? All of a sudden, instead of Sam Phillippo taking an easy mark, the ball ends up 50 metres the other way. He's provided a contest.
Regolo out of there. Kruger, the man of the moment, to Backwell. Had his number taken in the second term. We all still don't know what for. He kicks looking for Cook over the back. Allison wants to go, have to go with the right leg. And good kick, looks for McLaughlin. Well played by Costa. That's good hassling by Costa and finds the boundary line. Out of the contest there a bit, Kim Costa showing all his experience.
He made valuable ground there just to make a contest, just hit a Josh McLaughlin arm. Josh McLaughlin couldn't take the mark, and you see another boundary throw in deep in Glenelg's attacking zone.
Down, Regolo, who is an impact player. Wobbly old kick. Statham couldn't mark, good enough to get it and slam it on the boot. That's a long ball. Allison just going with the flight of it. Cook just tries to get around on the left leg. On the boundary, goes with the right leg. Long kick by Sujay. Hits the post. Oh, a couple of centimetres in that. The old post, it's a fair old wobble up.
He needed to kick that, though, because once he made his alternative, but he was going to have a shot at goal, he had to kick it, because generally the percentage play is to the top of the square.
Kick 4-9 this afternoon, the Bays. Not a good return for their efforts. Kruger looked to be tripped up in the end. Good result. Out of bounds, just in the interchange area. Again, Soda's very close by. You see him in screen there.
I'm just itching to get a touch, Neil, but I can't get near it.
You wouldn't even play in the Legends game.
You have to actually be a legend to play in that game, Michael.
Ball down to Powell. Eagles work it away from the stop play again. Up in front of goal from behind. Crashing through came Nicholas. Umpire call play on. Nearly was beaten by Sikalella. Sikalella hands it off. The goal kick coming up from Ellis. It's wide and it's out of bounds just in the forward pocket. Lindsay down there taking a break. And not the greatest of kicks by that young man, but he's got it up well and truly in the forward pocket.
Just needed to bring it back in the centre. Paul Hinge is a real danger here for the Eagles. He will flip this back over the back into space.
Did exactly as you called. Statham, though, intercepted for the Bays. Comes out to Phillippo, though, and around the corner, Phillippo's kicked a goal.
Just doesn't need a lot of possession, Sam Philbo, to hurt you on the scoreboard. As I called it, Paul Lindsay, they're looking for space out the back. It eventually comes out there. And just a turnover there. And Phillippo just on the end of it, turns it around the corner. And he's just been a consistent game from Sam. He's presented himself all day. He hasn't taken a lot of marks. He hasn't had a lot of possessions. But he just keeps presenting himself, and he's important to this Eagles forward structure.
Out to 38 points, the difference. Back in the centre, it's getting a bit ugly for the Bays now.
You just can't see where their goal is going to come from, Michael Crescent.
Cranston does the ruck work. Skipworth, quick hands out of there. Regolo, nowhere to go. Locked up by Moore. Chopped off at half-back by Jeffries. Jeffries looks down the line. Looks for the young man in Ellis, who's playing above his years at the moment, young Ellis.
He's playing a 50 here.
25-metre penalty against Brockman.
I think it was a late challenge over the top. Pretty soft.
Yeah, I'd have thought so. Anyway, they let a lot of other things go, but anyway, the men in white are always right. That's the old saying. Long kick by Ellis. That's a good high kick. They fly high. Oh, mark just about taken. Oh, rove by Lindsay. Lindsay dishes off to Passador. Pop this one down in your record. Another goal. Goal number 5 to Mark Passador. Well, he doesn't need much of a sniff of a goal, this man, and he'll kill you on the scoreboard.
Yeah, good mark there by Ellis, and there's just it's pretty soft, that challenge there. But importantly, they went to the top of the square where they had a big target in Paul Lindsay, who incredibly does his own roving. You see here on replay, brings it to the front. They all fall down like 9 pins. He's the only one that stands up, gives the hands off to Mark Passador in space, turns it around the corner, and right about now, I think he's well on top of Paul Shore.
Well, they last minute in round 2, these two sides, the gap was just 19 points in favour of the Eagles at Woodville Oval. And the Eagles well in control of this game, mate. No doubt about that as the ball again goes forward for them. Cranston or Brockman doubled up twice, couldn't get the ball. Umpires picked out a free kick and wait on it. Will go too. Well, nobody really knows. That's a bit of a concern, isn't it? Down here on the wing back, we're being harassed by Regolo mercilessly. Ball kicked in long, looking for Smith from behind Hall with the punch. Out of the ground. Armat did well to trap it. Then not the greatest of hand pass. Raiders was perhaps retarded. Certainly Powell was, but he was good enough to get the hand pass wide to Henschel. Henschel has to make a decision. In the end, he didn't have to. He was just let go. The kick up forward. Good punch there coming in from Sherwood, saving the day for Glenelg.
I think Trent Henschel would like to have that kick again. You've got a big, tall target, a big, strong bloke in Paul Lindsay at the top of the square. Going to Passador into the pocket. Just would rather him go to the top of the square and put some real pressure on the Glenelg defenders.
Out of there by Statham, who finds Costa. Costa can have a bounce, the veteran. Running down, looking for Smith. Smith takes the mark. Did he? No, yes. Umpire paid the mark and/or free kick. Once Smith got inside 50, Cranston's got to hobble up at half forward. He kicks long. Oh, Raiders pushed Allison onto a full burst. Kept his balance. Over to Leal. Powell. They're in a bit of trouble. Maybe a free kick will come back over the shoulder. It'll go to Powell.
Just unravelling here at the moment for the Bays. They really can't get the footy, and they're just a little bit undisciplined.
Down by 44. Ellison switches to Henschel.
It's been good, Trent Henschel back there.
Shown a bit, that's for sure.
Certainly added to it. Now they know he can play back as well as forward.
5 marks, 15 possessions.
Found a bit of the football, that's for sure. Big pack on centre wing, out the back. Nowhere to go, Jeffries locked up by Moore. And also Statham will have another bounce.
Boys, Josh Kruger's hurt his ankle by the looks of things. He's come straight off the ground and been replaced by Nathan Bell.
Kruger was the man. Anyway, free kick out of that. See that paying some free kicks for a bit of sniping here today. Went to Backwell. Nearly. Kicks it inside 50. Bell on a long lead. Can't quite take it. Rove by Armat. He's got a bit of pace, the young man. He's kicked a couple of behinds today. He will load it up toward the square. Cook v Matthews. Cook dragged down. Oh, nearly took the mark. Nearly took the one-hander. And the umpire will come in and ball it up.
I find that an interesting matchup there. Scott Matthews, who's got hold of the arm there, and a bit of 6.5 fouls on the other there. But interesting matchup. You see Scott Matthews is much taller. Scotty Matthews is very quick as well.
Smith tries to keep it in. Leal through difficult traffic. Skipworth just slammed it on the boot. Good play by Skipworth. Just a bit of experience there. Just a little kick and finds the boundary line.
The Eagles' defence has really played the percentages really well. If they've been under pressure, they've gone to the boundary line. If they've been able to run it out, and Trent Henschel has been integral in running it out of defence.
Skipworth just attacked it. Somehow found Floriani, all by accident. Great bump by Cook. Opens up the way for Armat. His handball was stray. Now Jeffries, far side of the ground, Matthews, and in turn down the ground further was McLaughlin. He's in space, and McLaughlin has plenty of support. A 3-on-1 contest ahead of him. In fact, a 2-on-1 contest and plenty of room to move for McLaughlin. He looks down towards Powell, gets the 1-2, still room to move. The Bays on the back pedal in defence. Passador should have taken that mark perhaps. Now he comes out. Good running on the far side by McLaughlin. Just puts it up in front of goal. A big strong target, as Andrew mentioned, was Lindsay. Couldn't take the ball, didn't get that far. And the Bays able to nearly to get it out of there. Well, I was waiting on the umpire on that one too. And Ciccolella and Nearly, and I imagine Justin Ciccolella just congratulating him on spiking that ball 20 metres over the boundary line.
He's not short of a word, Justin Ciccolella.
Not in love, those two, that's for sure. Raiders out of half-back. Armat has had a few touches. Dishes off to Robinson. Robinson has Cook. Oh, a bit high for him. Over the back, Matthews with a big crashing thump. Taken by Filippo. Oh, great tackle by Cook. Oh, just about a specky by Ciccolella. Nearly to Statham. Back out of there. So the Bays work it out. Cook dishes back off to Raiders. Raiders tries to kick inside 50, looking for Woods. Well done by Allison, who's been important the last couple of minutes, as has this man Henschel, who got it to Matthews. McLaughlin in short, sets up Regolo, but he stands his ground. Can't take the mark, nearly. Perhaps held without it. Regolo doesn't sort of hail for the cap. Ball caught underneath, pinched by Woods. Woods wants to go with the right leg. That's not a good kick. And Allison takes an easy mark. Really should have been centering that up. They switch play. Jeffries, maybe draw the man. Good shepherd by Powell. Wants to go back to Powell. Powell's going to get caught. Drops the football like it's gone. Great tackle by Nathan Bell. What's Bell got ahead of him? Absolutely nothing, so he needs to go back 10 metres. Goes to Culpet. Culpet decides to load up, but the only man getting back is Stephen Hall. Not a good kick, and Hall will relieve the Eagles.
Not very well thought out that. The Bays are packing their defensive end of the ground, and they're just not able to get forward at the moment. Ball out towards the wing. McLaughlin's been good this afternoon, takes the mark there.
Coming up for his 23rd possession, far more than anyone else on the ground.
Uses it ineffectively. Surrendered Culpet to Nearly. Now into Backwell. Looks up forward. Well, didn't really give his player an opportunity to mark that, but was good enough to go back and get it, Bell. Now it's on the ground. And the umpire in Colin Rouston will come in and bounce it at half-back for the Eagles. See Mark Jeffries. See actually the crowd right there, but Mark Jeffries just getting up pretty slowly from that contest. Ball thumped into the turf. O'Hara, little tap down to Skipworth. He was going nowhere. Plonk, back into the turf.
And with Brett O'Hara able to go into the ruck for the Eagles, it does give Paul Lindsay a break and becomes a very valuable target up forward. He's a very good tap ruckman, is Brett O'Hara.
And again, proof he just wants to tap the ball. And see, going up and down and up and down. Eventually the Eagles break it into the open. Floriani wanted the right leg, slowed up the kick, kicked it long. Nicholas to the mark. In the middle, he's got Smith short. Found Smith just. A quick hands to Radis. Now Radis is gone. Oh, he got out of trouble somehow. Statham's in trouble. He's surrounded by Eagles and taken to ground. We'll get another bounce on centre wing. Well done by the Eagles, just closing it up. 44 points the margin. And we're into time on in the third term. And you do feel sorry for Damien Radis here. And indeed for Statham.
He ran into a very good tackler in Robert Shirley.
Hills out of there, just paddles. Kick forward. Cook, couldn't quite get on the end of it. All done by Hall. Just paddle in front of him. Tried to get it to Floriani. Nest of Tigers. Cook just held on to Hall without the football. Spinning out of that lot was Matthews, who got it to Henschel. Henschel will kick long. On a long lead is Lindsay. Can he get there? The stretch knocked away by Brockman. Boundary throw in.
And just that kick there by Trent Henschel forward, just needed to lob it on Paul Lindsay's head. His role here is not to be a fast leading full forward. Just lob it on his head, let him make a competition. Use his strength against his much smaller Glenelg opponent.
Had to use his pace that time. Knocked down, Skipworth with a Hannibal Lecter, goes towards Sikalala. He's brilliantly tackled by Mules. They go in hard. Cranston just knocked it forward. Pinched by Skipworth, got it to Regolo. Good vision, got a call from Ellis. The kick was too long for him. And tracking back was Costa. And Costa will settle it down for the Bays. He doesn't have anything ahead of him. And decides to switch to this side of the ground to the pocket to Brockman. So they reload the Bays. Down the line, good kick. Spots up Mules at half-back for the Bays. Not too much ahead. Gets a long lead from Bell, but he's held onto it for a fortnight, so decides to chip it in short. Goes to Robinson. Robinson on centre wing. Kicks it long. That's a terrible kick getting back. Is Henschel who relieve for the Eagles.
I don't know if you could blame the kicker there, because Smith kept pointing one way and then the other. In the end, I don't know if he made a definitive lead. The Eagles picked it off anyway. Ball out to the far side of the ground. Allison was good, took the mark. Leading goal kicker last season with 25 goals, and this afternoon been down back. McLaughlin short, and short of expectations. Pretty ordinary kick. Cranston intercepting for the Bays. Led by 4 points at quarter time. The Tigers, they're down by 44 at the moment in the third term. Allison just applying the tackle there. The umpire no choice but to come in and bounce the ball.
Making no impression at all.
No, they really haven't. They really haven't got a target up forward they can go to with any confidence.
Thump, McLaughlin, that time not able to get free. Good tackle coming in there from Ahmad. And Glenelg, they last beat the Eagles in round 19 of 1999 at the Adelaide Oval, so it's been a while. Here's Costa, just plops it up in front of goal, hope for a leap from somebody. If it comes to the back, Cook's got it. It does come to the back. Cook does have it, and he kicks a goal.
An ironical cheers go up from the Glenelg faithful. It's been a long time coming, but importantly for the Eagles today, they let the ball go over the back. Just comes forward, Costa with an intelligent kick to the top of the square, and just works his way over the back, and the Eagles defenders did let it go to the back, and Sergei Cook was able to read it off hands. He's worked his way to the back. Scott Matthews, unfortunately, unable to keep it in front of him. And Sergei Cook gets a goal. It seems to be the only way the Bays are going to get their goal. They lack a marking target up forward like a Mark Passador or someone like that. So they've really got to manufacture goals from crumbs, etc.
Back to 38-point margin. Plenty of people here today. Good crowd getting behind both teams, you'd have to say. There's Paul Lindsay back in the ruck. Up against Smith. Deep into time on. Smith just knocks it down. Regolo went without it. Skipworth, Lindsay. Over the top to Regolo. He's outside 50. Long kick looking for Passador. Just works Sherwood out of the contest. Handball back. Ellis decides to go with the left foot and finds Philippou.
He's an intelligent young man, Ellis, isn't he? He sort of didn't panic then on his non-preferred left foot. Brought it back inside, and Sam Philippou running into space. Not too much that Craig Statham can do about that. And Sam Philippou, once again, he's a very much a percentage type player. He's presented himself well today, but as I said, if he does get a kick, he generally kicks a goal.
He's kicked a couple. He got 3 last week against South Adelaide, so he's in a bit of form at the moment. From about 10 metres out, kicks through the footy. Goal umpire doesn't move. Lay down Mazaire that one, so it's back to 44 points.
Boys, that's Sammy Philippou's 200th goal in his career.
Good stats, Otis.
Yeah, he's been a good player over a number of years. He just failed to take that next step. Was a real star of the competition in the 93, 94 type seasons, and went over to the AFL and just quite didn't measure up in the AFL at the Western Bulldogs, or Footscray as they were in those days. He's come back here and just really hasn't had that impact. Works really hard as a player. I've seen him off the field. He works really hard as a player, and just couldn't fit. Interesting, Kim Costa having a break.
Skipper of the Bays, yep. Just having a little bit of a break. Costa, runner-up for the best and fairest last year here at Tigerland. Played with South Adelaide for 77 games before coming here to Brighton Road. Eagles 13-5-83. Glenelg 5-9-39. They've really stopped since quarter time, Glenelg. Really struggled through that second term.
Neil, Josh Kruger has just come out of the change rooms on crutches, and the official word from the club is he's rolled his ankle, but it looks a little bit worse than that.
Thanks, Soda's ball somehow came out of there. No idea who kicked it, but obviously you would think it was a Bay player. The ball came forward. Backwell, good vision, quickly looking for Cook. Asked a lot of him. Matthews certainly thought so because he pulled down the mark. Spreads it to the far side of the ground. Not the greatest of kicks. Skipworth has to make it with a 2-on-1. If he surrenders the ball here, it was going to be a runaway position for the Bays, so he opted to keep the ball and surrender it to a free kick, and thus allow his own team time to get back and perhaps cover their men. You can see that they've done that successfully because there's not too many options on for Robinson. He just kicks it high and hopes for the best. The flyers are there. At the front was Cook, ducked the head in trouble. Back to Moore, around the corner. Good finish from Moore, or is it? He was pretty happy with it, and so he should be. A goal to the Bays. And we haven't heard a rule like that for some time. They're just showing a little bit of fight, and so they should, Andrew.
They certainly should. I mean, last week they really set a high standard against third at Unley, and were able to, come away with a good win down there. And they're just showing some fight here late in the quarter, but geez, it's been a long time between drinks. They kicked the first 2 goals of the game, and it's taken them another 2.5, nearly 3 quarters to kick another 4. So you just, as I said, once again, you wonder where their goals are going to kick for, and they're very much from their opportunist forwards.
Nice assist by Cook, who got it to Moore. The Eagles out of there. Regolo to Shirley. Mules is going to be favoured by this one. Gets back and takes the test mark. Just read it well. in front of Lille. They'd love to pinch another goal before three-quarter time, the Bays, but they've made hard work of getting goals this afternoon. Long kick, just a nudge. Lindsay gave Smith a nudge. Taken by Raiders. That's Damien Raiders. Couldn't get on the end of it. They dive on the football, have another bounce. 45 plays 83 in favour of the Eagles. And there's a glacier on his ankle as the siren goes. And this is how Kruger did his ankle, just going over on the ankle. So it's three-quarter time, and there he is, the young man, looking very solemn, sitting on the bench. He will play no further part. At three-quarter time, it's the Eagles 13-5-83 over Glenelg 6-9-45, and the Eagles really put the foot down, Andrew.
They certainly did. They continued their ascendancy from the second quarter when they really did take control of the game, and Glenelg haven't been able to respond. They just haven't had the same numbers as what they had previously, and they just continued as we'll get a look at the highlights here from this third quarter. And the first one is Mark Passador, who's playing in front, and Sam Philippe makes a contest, and Passador eventually on the end of a handball and turns it around the corner beautifully.
One of your pet hates, but he did it anyway.
He did. When you're under pressure, Mueller, I haven't got a problem with that. But yeah, he does it. And Sam Philippe, so they've had two good targets up forward, but once again they're involved when the ball hits the ground. Just not learning. And Ellis, who's has been important today, has just provided an extra marking option up forward, and that's when Paul Lindsay went forward, gets his own crumb, handballs off to Passador, and he turns it around the corner once again. And Mark Passador has kicked his 5 goals today, and young Vinny Regalo certainly got plenty of the footy today, but he's also done a deal on young Kruger there for Glenelg, and he's unfortunately rolled his ankle, and we probably won't see him again today. And we'll get a goal here from Sergei Cook, from
Ben Moore.
Ben Moore, sorry. And Sergei Cook heavily involved. He's their opportunist forward.
Yes, and, well, unfortunately, the opportunities have been few and far between for the Bays. They started well, wasted opportunities with 2-6 in the opening quarter. And as you said, since then, they've managed only 4 goals, 3. On the other hand, a 7-goal second term has really set up this match for the Eagles.
And it has been a disappointing day for Glenelg, with Raiders with 2 early goals, with Cook with 2 in that quarter, Nearly and Moore with 1 each. And for the Eagles, Passador and Philippe have been 2 key targets up forward. Vinny Regalo, who's been impressive today, Pesh, Jeffries and Ellis with 1 each.
Quick look at those stats, and you just see the weight of possession firmly favouring the Eagles, and they have used a lot of handballs, but they've used them very well. And the inside 50 is fairly close.
Yeah, that's surprising, that, because the Eagles really have controlled the footy around the footy, and they've really dominated, but also the inside 50s. I suggest that Glenelg have gone forward. They really have lacked a target as they've gone forward.
Well, so far, a good start, but a disappointing afternoon, really, for the Bays. And their CEO, Darren Chandler, joins us now. And Darren, I guess you've worked very hard off the field, and things are starting to turn around on the field, with the exception of today. They've turned around a bit on the field this season.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Last week was a terrific result against Sturt. We've been showing patches throughout the year that we play a good quarter and then a good half, but we haven't been able to put 4 quarters together. But, you know, we knew that it wasn't going to be easy, and we knew there was going to be some ups and downs. So it's there's been some positive signs, and just hopefully they can finish off the last quarter today.
Darren, I know financially you're not too badly off now. You've got the new convention centre and that down here, but on the field, you've made a conscious decision, from what I understand, to go with David Noble and to get everybody behind one coach for a long period of time.
Absolutely. David's been appointed for a 3-year term, and he's full-time. It's the first time we've gone down that track for a full-time coach. And his other support staff that we've got in with Tony Burgess and Sean McMahon, our fitness coach, Johnny Simons, our reserves coach. It's, you know, we need to really stabilise things and ensure that give these guys a chance to put a good group of players together.
And Darren, just junior development would be high on your target, I presume. Last year, beaten in both grand finals in the 17s and 19s, but would be looking to continue on with that progression? Absolutely.
Our reserves team today, we had, I think it was 10 or 11 players who were eligible for the under-19s. Coming through, and there's certainly some talent there. There's a few young guys like Josh Kruger's had a chance over the last couple of weeks, who's come through the grades, and many of those guys have come from our southeast zone as well, down Mount Gambier, Narracourt way, and there's some terrific talent, and we've just got to keep nurturing that through.
All right, Darren, well, let's hope the Bays show a bit of fight in the final quarter. I guess you'd be a little bit disappointed with the way they've gone downhill this afternoon, but I'm sure things are looking up all the time for the Glenelg Football Club.
Absolutely. Look, they've had some opportunities, but I can guarantee you the boys do have a crack, so they'll certainly fight it out.
Okay, thanks for that. Darren Chandler, the CEO of the Glenelg Football Club. We'll go down to the Bays huddle right now and just have a quick listen, or at least a talk, about what the Bays are doing this afternoon. And they're in tight. David Noble speaking to him right now.
Yeah, I think he would be a bit disappointed just with their finishing. They certainly had some opportunity. They just can't hit targets, and they really lack a key forward to really impose himself on the game. Just a real target to kick to.
Soda's just coming into screen. It's all yours, mate.
Well, Neil, the Eagles are on top that quarter with Josh McLaughlin and also Mark Jeffries running right in the centre of the ground. David Noble's asked his players to be more accountable in this final term and to just create a spark in the middle of the ground. He's got Big Brad Smith into the ruck and Sujai Cook onto the ball.
Thanks for that, Sodas. Look, very obvious that they had problems up forward, wasn't it? They really didn't have any sort of target to go to, and they looked a little bit disorganised, the Bays.
Yeah, they're certainly relying on opportunities up forward. Now, that's okay, but you still need a big, tall target to kick to, and they really lack someone just to create that target and someone to create a contest so that their little fellas can get front and centre and really kick some opportunist goals. Interesting, Sujai Cook onto the ball. He might have been the one bloke that might have snagged you a few goals up forward, so maybe robbing Peter to pay Paul.
I know that Cranston and Brockman, there was a lot of hope that they'd hold down the two key defensive posts. And the idea of David Noble at one stage was to send Paul Sherwood forward, but he's been sent back to where he knows best, the full back line.
Yeah, he's very strong overhead, Paul Sherwood, and yeah, I mean, maybe you try something in this last quarter. Look, give those opportunity to those young blokes, push Sherwood forward, push him to centre forward, say, look, all we want you to do is make a contest and then get the young fellas around. I mean, the game is virtually done and dusted here. Maybe try to get something out, some sort of positive out of the game and try Sherwood up forward.
Gee, if anything, you would expect some inconsistency for the Bays as they get used to their coach, I guess. And that's what they've shown. They're win-loss, win-loss. They haven't won consecutive games, I think, since 1999, so they're really struggling.
Yeah, they just, as I said, they just got to persist. He's looking for consistent effort over 4 quarters. Now, we saw him very good in the first quarter. Slowly have fallen away as the game has progressed. So what he's looking to instill in him is a real discipline, a hard tackling style of footy. When they've got the footy, unfortunately, they've turned it over too much time by foot.
Well, let's see if they can improve things in the final quarter. Glenelg averaging only 78 points a game this season. They've kicked 45 so far this afternoon. They trail badly. Let's see what they do in the fourth quarter. Here's Michael Maney.
The Bays would love Manfield, Griffiths and Golding up forward. There's 3 talls that they could certainly rotate through that half forward line and deep in the forward line. They don't have them. They've got to work with what they've got. Salopek has been missing too. Last term underway. Smith tries to knock it down only as far as Skipworth. The torpedo to half forward, thumped away. McLaughlin went without it. He's had a good game today. Free kick will go to the Bays for a push. It'll go to Cook. Cook from half-back. Just kicks to a contest. They fly. Statham Panozzo couldn't get it. Taken by Sikalella. He's ridden to the ground by his shadow today, Nearly. He's done a pretty good job on him.
Last week, Billy Nearly held Jade Sheedy to 4 kicks. Today, he's held Justin Sikalella to 4 kicks.
More than a good job, you'd have to say. Hasn't had the effect on the game. Floriani just locked in. Ball squeezes out the back to Robinson. And maybe an early thrust forward for the Bays. It's a long kick by Robinson. They fly. Allison just read it best at the back. What's the left leg? Spots a man on the outer side. And gets him in Jeffries. Jeffrey wants to cut inboard, forced to go back on the left leg. Looks for Passador, thumped away by Sherwood at the back. Moore just between his legs. Couldn't get it. Free kick too high. It'll go to the Bays. It'll go to Moore. I think he's on the bottom of that pack. Moore's away. He come from behind the mark. Short kick, and it's a good one too. And it finds Michael Raiders, who kicked the first 2 goals of the game. And they were on fire early, the Bays, but it's gone out substantially. Oh, lovely mark by Moore, who ran forward. And that's a clever mark. He's capable of doing these things, Ben Moore, and just worked Matthews out of the contest.
It is, because Scott Matthews is a taller opponent, but Ben Moore working hard. Importantly, played on quickly from out on the wing. Was able to pinpoint a pass inside, and then importantly for the Bays, took a risk and ran forward and was just a little bit too strong overhead.
The nice goal at the 27.5-minute mark of the third term. Ben Moore. just sits it up. Maybe just squeeze that one through. Crowd like it. He's got his second. So an early goal to the Bays, that'll give them some heart.
Yeah, it certainly will. They've just work it forward. Raiders just chip to the pocket. Once again, they really haven't got a tall target they can kick to, so they're kicking to one-on-one contests in smaller type players. And Ben Moore rakes in a one-hander over the top. And importantly for the Bays, Winter can kick the goal. So I'll just get you to check. I've got an idea the Eagles don't have a player to come back on.
No, they don't. Jason Earl actually started the quarter there, lasted about a minute, and he's come back off the ground. So with Nick Pesh off with a knock to the knee and also Matthew Stokes with that shoulder, I think the Eagles are in a bit of trouble if anyone else goes down.
Be in a bit of trouble if the Tigers get a run on too, I guess, as the ball goes forward. 32 points the margin. Just unable to clear the pack here at half forward, the Tigers. Jeffries in over the top, will surrender the ball to the umpire. Brett Backwell just staying warm, turning the legs over. Bit of a surprise, I guess, to see him on the bike. Here's Cook turning it around the corner, up in front of goal. Battle is on, ball to ground, through for a minor score, and the full Nelson applied there by your mate Stephen Hall, Andrew.
You're very much playing into Stephen Hall's hands by playing that. He is the master of that. And as soon as you get in the wrestle with him, he's got arms like octopuses. They go all around you, and you've got no way of getting out.
Stephen Hall just waits for the huddle to break. And kicks out long to the favour of Powell, who runs onto it on a full burst. Has one bounce, will kick it inside 50. That's how quick it is in the modern day football. Regolo takes the mark. He was off. Maybe a push. Just a nudge against Raiders. Short kick. That was a promising build-up to the Eagles. Nicholas has got Robinson. That kick doesn't find him. He's good enough to track it back. Kicks it inside 50. Allison couldn't take the mark this time. Being picked up by Neely. Neely has a bounce. O'Hara, desperate lunge. He wants to square it up, Neely. Good kick. Looks for Culpet, and Culpet will take the mark. 25 to 30 metres out directly in front. And Andrew Rogers, you celebrate as they square it up to the hot spot.
They certainly did. We saw Sergei Cook have a shot from the pocket similar like there and hit the post. And just wonderful discipline play there by Billy Neely just to bring it back in the centre. And Heath Culpet acknowledged that even before just after he'd taken the mark. And he should kick this goal. And all of a sudden the game is just starting to tighten up a little bit.
Culpet's kicked 5 goals in 5 games. And he doesn't kick one on this occasion. That's a poor kick from there.
And it's disappointing from one of their experienced players, their AFL performed players, where he's been there before. He's got to nail that goal so that it gives them some sort of impetus as they just try to mount a serious challenge here to the Eagles.
Just waiting for Stephen Hall, who decides to boot the ball long and low, and a great kick in. Found Powell. Running for him was Skipworth. Skipworth looks up, cross half forward. Ball up there. Raiders comes from behind, knocks it away. Sherwood tackled by Passador. Hand pass was not too bad to Nicholas. He went wide. They muck around with the ball. Mules just trying to get open space to get a kick in. Nicholas will have his left foot on this side of the ground. Nothing much on offer, but he doesn't have much of a choice anyway. He has to come this way. Well done by Brockman. Trapped the ball, then inside of the long hand pass to Smith. Oh, turning circle, as large as it was still okay. Oh, in good vision, he takes the line. Now he's in trouble. Hand pass, turnover. No, Brockman followed up well. Knows he's in trouble. Goes back to Smith. Smith, who at this stage can't breathe, and that's why he's thrown out the elbow, and that's why he's given the free kick away. And O'Hara not impressed.
There's a general rule in footy: you don't handball to a ruckman. And we've just seen why, I think, in there. Just Brad Smith trying to impose himself on the game. Good pressure there by the Eagles forwards.
To be honest, I don't know if he actually got the elbow up, but it mattered little. It is a free kick. It was a free kick in any case. And you saw there Filippo just shoving his player under the ball and taking the mark about 45 from goal.
And there's that strength that Mark Soderstrom spoke about earlier in the day. Just on a one-on-one contest, if he gets into a wrestle, Sam Filippo's going to be way too strong now. Once again, we saw Sam have a shot from a similar gully. Just needs to control his leg. He'll get the distance, just needs to control it.
3 for the afternoon so far. The margin 30 points. Filippo leans back on the ball and it comes around nicely. And the Eagles rush across to congratulate Sam Filippo, his 4th of the afternoon.
And it just comes in an opportune time for the Eagles. where they were just starting to be serious challenged by Glenelg, but you can just see there Sam Philippou just a little bit too strong and just controlled his leg nicely, kicked up. He's always going to get the distance. It just was a matter of accuracy, and you can see the Eagles are pretty happy with that. They've just taken some heat out of the game.
He's straight kicking 4 goals.
Philippou and Passador have 9 straight between them.
Yeah, terrific. Colbert misses from 25 metres out directly in front. Philippou kicks from outside 50 for a goal.
It is a fine line in footy, isn't it, Michael? I mean, they kicks that goal and it's back into a margin where it's, you know, you're a chance, but all of a sudden it's blown out again.
Back out again. Here comes Robinson. Wants to dish off to Colbert. Can he make amends? Outside 50. Heath Colbert. Long probing kick. And just getting back, knocking it away. And Allison just finds the boundary line.
Tremendous desperation there by Robert Shirley. Heath Colbert, just that's what he should have done the first time when he had his shot at goal. As we see this revolving door down there, Sodas, that they're going to try. Obviously, Brett Leal's still no good.
Yeah, he's no good, but Jason Earl was struggling too with his hips, so he's been patched up. He's got some padding there on the left-hand side, and he's going for another go.
Floriani on hands and knees, just a little toe poke out of there. Sikalella will probably take it through for a behind, a rush one. So the Bays continue to push forward, but as you mentioned, Andrew, they just really do lack a target up there.
They certainly do. Stephen Hall, once again, they're man-on-man on the kickouts, and it's just breaking down here for Glenelg. I think David Noble needs to go back to a zone defence.
Allison wide, finds his target, and they're down to half forward pretty easily with Jeffries with the ball for the Eagles. Moves inside and kicks long into the hot spot, just 20 metres out from goal. Thump, they all meet it. In the end, tap wide McLaughlin, sped it before he had it, got it again, and then sped it properly the way he should have in the first place.
And once again, it comes from a transference out from a point from Glenelg. And Vinny Regalo has been a very important day today. Good contest there by Ellis. Regalo with good vision taps it out into space. Just a slight fumble there by Josh McLaughlin, but he's capped off a really good day. Turns the ball around the corner, fist in the air, and I think the Eagles are pretty much home.
Josh McLaughlin, 19 kicks and 6 handballs.
It's been terrific on the wing, and he's been in everything. McLaughlin got his first goal of the afternoon. Big blowout here now. Smith and Lindsay. Lindsay good enough to knock it down. Skipworth, quick hands to the man of the moment, McLaughlin, who kicks it inside 50. Statham will take the mark for the Bays. In front of Philippou. He's had a bit of a dip today, Statham. Short kick to another man who's tried pretty hard in Damien Radis. It's been all bad for the Bays, apart from that kick, which was a terrible one off the outside of the boot. Sikalella, don't give him an opportunity. He'll use it pretty well. Plenty of time. Sits it up, looking for O'Hara. Just knocked into the contest. Ellis out of the contest, back in the contest, just paddles it forward. Raiders somehow got it through there. Spearing kick, Panozzo, that's a good kick under plenty of pressure. Panozzo dishes off to Neely. Neely has a bounce, has Smith on. Finds him, just a nice little chip. Smith has got Armat in the centre of the ground. Good kick. They work it well, do the Bays. Now this is where they've been struck down. Over the back hall, just a big thump away. Powell couldn't keep his feet. In goes Allison. Well done at the back, Shirley. Handball, good vision to Hall. Over the top, the Eagles out of trouble. Another possession coming up for McLaughlin. That's not a good kick, not his best. Nicholas just attacked the footy. Well done, Cook. Just gets ridden into the ground. Free kick against Henschel. And Cook will get it and relieve the pressure from half back for the Bays.
Up to Nicholas on his left leg, just thumps it in long. That'll be to the advantage of Hall. Just falling across there and falling across his man as well. And Hall clears it. Shirley down the line. Oh, Passador threw away his man. Too high, said the umpire. Nicholas will take the free kick. The Bays crowd enjoyed that.
He did everything right. The umpire's actually called that too high. Now, did everything right. Pushed off his man. Just got to get that arm in a little bit lower.
Don't know about this attacking method of the Bays. They're going in long, and, well, it's going to work by the looks. Panozzo turns it around the corner. Accuracy was good. A goal to the Bays. Why should I question it?
Yes, it's just hard work. You can see they're just kicking long. They really haven't got a tall option up forward. And they just bomb it in long. It's great. Look, it's a good spot in the middle of the hot spot. Stephen Hall, just a slight fumble there. Good front and centre by Ben Norton. Panozzo just turns it around the corner and finishes with the goal. So, I mean, David Noble at three-quarter time would have probably said, look, let's see if we can win this last quarter. Let's see if we can get some sort of respect back from the Eagles.
Long way back for them, 35 points the difference. The bounce will favour Lindsay, who knocked it down to Regolo to Sikalella, who off a step finds Skipworth with a bit of meterage at half forward. Skipworth spots Earl in the pocket, and Earl takes the mark 45 metres out, make that 40 metres out. Earl doesn't want a shot for goal, just squares it up, looking for Henschel, who's run forward. Good play by Henschel, just ran off and will shoot from about 40 metres out, 35 metres out directly in front.
And good discipline play there by Jason Earl. Could have had a pot shot from the pocket, but just worked it forward. And you can see Trent Henschel in a lot of space there. The kick's pretty right, and Trent Henschel should cap off a nice day. I've wrapped some of these blokes up as good kicks for goal. Here's another one.
Well, here's a forward by most people's opinion. So Trent Henschel from that's 30 metres out directly in front. Good-looking kick. Good goal by Trent Henschel. Well, he ran forward, took the mark, made the play, and that was important. So first goal of the afternoon to Trent Henschel.
Yes, and it was very instrumental at centre back, running off, getting plenty of possessions. You see it go wide to the pocket. Not too sure about that kick by Hayden Skipworth. And then, importantly, Jason Earl brings it back into the corridor. Trent Henschel takes a nice clean mark, finishes with a goal, and has actually been pushed forward now. So they're really trying to stretch this Glenelg defence. They've pushed some tools forward. Ellis and O'Hara have gone to full forward, and now you throw Henschel forward, and all of a sudden there's mismatches around the place as far as Glenelg is concerned.
They talk about the number of forwards they've got, Andrew, who you're a wrap for their goal kicking. Well, why not? They've kicked 16 goals, 5. So good kicking. Skipworth, crunch. Oh, dear. If he can pick his body out of the turf, he will take a free kick. He's had a hard day, as you can see. The schnoz has taken a blow or two.
Hannibal Skipworth.
That's good courage there, but Nicholas, look, that's okay. Make him earn the kick. Just if he drops the mark, it makes you look pretty stupid, and he's actually dropped the mark. But it's a little bit happening behind the play. Mark Jeffries doesn't mind a word mixing it.
Well, if I was the players there, I'd be a bit worried. Colin Rouston's already got the book out a couple of times.
Pushed the player, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Player Jeffries didn't appreciate Colin Rouston in his face, I don't think. Skipworth, meanwhile, has the shot on goal. Oh, and he'll be sacked. Kicked a minor score. 16 goals, 6, 102, the Eagles. Glenelg, 8, 12, 60.
And it's continued going on. As I said, Mark Jeffries doesn't mind mixing it. Has a very colourful past as well. So,
oh, do tell.
And he's North Adelaide Dave.
Playing in different colours, isn't it? Ellis at the back, knocked it down. Ahmat, quick hands, too quick for Cook. Ball will go to the boundary. Cook takes it over. Young man Ellis, pretty good today.
Yeah, been impressed by him. And look, once again there, he didn't go for the mark, tried to thump it back. Very disciplined once again to bring it back, so the Eagles have an opportunity.
42 points the difference in favour of the Eagles. Floriani just kicks it very high. Nicholas, eyes on the football, couldn't take the mark. Really did go hard after that, Nicholas, just couldn't reel it in. There's Regolo, who's been pretty good today.
Yeah, been very impressed with Vinny Regolo. There's been a number of Eagles youngsters, Ellis, Regolo, Skipworth, who I still classify as a youngster, who have been good today for the Eagles.
Big thump out of there, finds the boundary.
Vinny Regolo, 11 kicks and 13 handballs today.
He's kicked a couple of goals too, I think, so it's been okay. 2 goals, 1 to Vinny Regolo.
And has worked hard on the 1%ers, the tackling, the shepherd, that type of stuff. So he's been a good find for the Eagles this year.
Take it out of the ruck, that was Brockman. Quick hands, Floriani, got it to Filippo. His high kick, Passador, stride worked out of the contest by Sherwood, who takes it to the line.
It's an interesting way to describe it. It was very worked out of the contest. I think he was thrown out in the end.
I don't think Mark Passador agrees with the umpire. He certainly has had words with the umpire there about that Paul Sherwood marking contest.
Cook goes into the middle of the ground. Eagles talls thump the ball to the front. The Bays come away, get it down to half forward. Reading it well was Matthews. Now he's in trouble. Now he's gone. Umpire calls play on. Ahmat takes off. Open goal square. Ahmat decides to lob it across. Well done. Called it well, Andrew. Good vision. And it'll be young Woods who will go back and take a shot on goal.
Interesting the difference there between Scott Matthews and we saw Hayden Skipworth, who was quite happy to hang on to the footy and cop that holding the ball. On the other side there, we saw in the third quarter where Scott Matthews tried to take the tackle on, but good vision there by Ahmet.
So from straight out in front, Woods kicks the ball through. Well done to the Bays. They're still coming, they're still fighting, and the faithful have turned up this afternoon, all 4,215 of them. Pretty good home crowd for the Bays.
Yeah, and good game. I mean, they've persisted here in this last quarter where quite easily it could have turned into a whitewash. And just good vision, good skills off the outside of his right foot. Just gives Woods an opportunity. And importantly for a young man, went back and kicked the goal.
He fought back, Ahmed, after missing that early goal. He could have had the head down and sort of given it away for the day, but he's got some handy touches for them. Back in the centre, ball knocked away. Cook, good hands to Nicholas, who wants the left leg, ducks back inboard to that man we spoke about in Ahmed. He's about to be reeled in by Sikalella. Well done. They try and crash through. Sikalella again. Tackle. No Pryor. And the umpire comes in. Damien Raidis, the man doing the tackling.
They have got some smart on ballers, the Eagles, where you can see there Justin Sikalella was quite happy to take that tackle, hold the ball in the area, and he's quite happy to have a bounce.
Brockman knocked it down, nearly. Back to Brockman. Just fends off. Goes with a handball to Cook. Cook, long kick. Is out of bounds on the full. Missed everything. Not happy. Just didn't steady it. Out of half-back. Floriani takes the mark and will clear for the Eagles.
Floriani, perhaps not the safest of kicks. Sorry about that, John, when you watch the replay, but that was a good one. Out towards the wing. And a good target too, and Lindsay, who just watches it go over his head, out the back, nearly overran it, nearly got it, but he didn't. Now McLaughlin quickly to take the bounce, somehow shrugs off a tackle, then forward, kick was beautiful. Oh, Passador mucked it up. Now, Henshaw can't keep it in play. Passador should have taken that. I don't think it takes an expert really to tell you that, Andrew.
No, the one thing I do like about Mark Passador was that he tried to take it in his hands rather than on his chest. He certainly gave the defender no hope of getting a punch in or a fist in to punch it away.
Skipworth, well roved, he's in trouble. Robertson takes him to the ground. No reward except a bounce. They peel themselves off the turf. He's had a hard day, Skipworth, hasn't he? Those kids have had a good day.
Hayden's worked hard all day. I mean, Hayden Skipworth, he brings it, he's got a very high skill level, just a link player, similar to Josh McLaughlin, is what's required from the Eagles.
7 kicks, 14 handballs to Hayden Skipworth.
Just a block off the ball. If we get a wide shot of this next ruck contest, might be interesting. The Eagles trying to block for Sikalella. And they're trying to get Neely out of the way. Although not this time. Neely's still got his arm on Sikalella. They all come in. Tap down. Oh, through the crowd was Ellis. Got a shot on goal just away to the left.
And just off the ball, there's still a bit happening between Justin Sikalella and Billy Neely. But Ellis, he's really presented himself well today, and I think he should be very happy with his game. He can play tall, but you can see in there he can rove a ruck contest. So he's an up-and-coming player for the Eagles.
Cook out of half-back. Oh, just about on a donut there, Cook. That's a terrible kick. Worked himself into all sorts of trouble. Jason Earl, a little bit on the treadmill there because of that injury. Taken by Passador, slung in the tackle. Regolo just kicks it high. Neely and Sikalella, neither of them get it. Sikalella went again, didn't quite get the ball. Out the back, Statham misread it. Kick squeezed out there, taken by Robinson. Robinson clears. Only as far as the boundary line, out of bounds on the full, and Ellis will get a chance from deep in that pocket. You'd think he looked to dish it off. He's got to come back around on the mark. And Ellis, who kicked behind just a moment ago. It's a number of leads, but I think the young man is going to have a shot, or will he just kick it to the top of the square? They go high, no one can take the mark, and they work it through for behind. Yes, they have.
Gee, they made hard work of it.
It did. It was obvious here to tap it through, and they just... I was crying out for someone front and centre there, wasn't it? Everyone seemed to fly for the mark. All they wanted was a Nick Pesh type or a Matthew Stokes or someone like that. And unfortunately, sitting down for the Eagles just to be front and centre, and they may well have finished with a goal.
Looked very much what you'll probably see after the game, with the kids on the ground and set it up, fellas, we want to mark. Just everybody going for the specky, for the honour of mark of the day. Although I think young Ellis has already got that, no question. Took a brilliant one earlier in the game. Ahmad called the play on. He's at half back for the Tigers. And when you look at the video of that young man, you won't like it. Just turned the ball over. Allison is a long left foot kick. Called the play on now. Kicks it in long. Pass it to the target. They all fly at him. Cook was good enough to stay down, rode the ball. Now his options were not too plentiful. Turned it over again. That's really, really ordinary play. Skipworth had a couple of players saying kick it deep. Lindsay in the middle of the pack. O'Hara pulls it down and gives a hand pass out. Now Cook, another opportunity. This time he selects Raiders. This time he misses again. Floriani good enough to get a quick hand pass in. The Bays are crowding around. Woods taps the ball forward. Umpire calls play on still. Woods comes again. Somehow found More tries hard. Can't get a clean disposal. And it is in the centre square. They did get it out of defence, the Tigers. And it is scrappy.
Certainly wasn't fluent, was it, Neil? Not you to describe it as a training drill. But they are persisting. The Eagles' tackling has once again matched Glenelg's today, and probably just has worn them down over the period of the game.
3 goals each in this last term. Jeffries kicks it high. Lindsay! Oh, no, it wasn't. It was young O'Hara who flew high. Rove by Regolo to Shirley. Shirley's kick, looking for Passador and Sherwood. Good contest. Ball hits the deck. No free kick. Off the ground. Hitchell, goal. Or touched. Just touched right on the line.
Just wanted a clean contest. There's Brett O'Hara. Adams, his much larger brother, goes forward and just unfortunately drops the mark. But plenty of numbers there for the Eagles. They just needed one clean take and they would have finished with another goal.
Well, I suppose in keeping with the scrappiness of the last 5 minutes or so, Statham just boots it up, looking for Armat. McLaughlin got a hand in there twice. Now Raiders. This is Damien, and you're in trouble, mate. Umpire at least gave him the benefit of the doubt. And we'll get a bounce. Paul Lindsay just helping rather a lightweight to his feet in Raiders. He just picked him up as if he was, I don't know, football. Thumped down the ground for the Bays by Brockman. McLaughlin showing good pace and good skill. Off the left foot, found Shirley. Stretched by Shirley, no mark, but able to get around his man a little too easily. Far side of the ground, 2-on-1. Raffle it. In the end, Powell takes it. Off to the left foot of Allison. Let's see what he does from here. Lines it up. Good pass. Mark in the square. Yes, his vision was good. And Jason Earl, best first-year player in 2001, will line up to kick a goal in 2003.
Yeah, and great run from behind by Paul Allison. And what had actually happened there with him being injured, Jason Earl, the Glenelg players didn't show him any respect. He actually stood in the goal scorer on his own for quite a period of time. And a good pinpoint kick there by Paul Allison. And Jason Earl should finish with a goal.
And does do. So well done. The Eagles just pushed that margin out to, it's the biggest of the game now. It's out to 46 points. It was 44 points late in term 3. And we'll just have a look at this kick. Good kick from Allison.
Yeah, he just pinpointed it along. You can see there all the Glenelg players got sucked in forward of the contest, taken in by Mark Passador, and Jason Earl just able to sit the back. Good transference of play. Josh McLaughlin heavily involved again, along with Robert Shirley, and they've certainly switched the play around well, the Eagles today, and certainly Glenelg can learn a lot from the way the Eagles have played.
Just about done and dusted at Glenelg Oval here. Ticked into 26 minutes in the last term. Lindsay knocked it down. No one can get the takeaway from there. Eventually, kick smothered. Robinson's kick smothered. Jeffries got it to Skipworth. Just did the circular thing. Shirley, under pressure from Panozzo. He stole it off him in the end. Thought Shirley might have done enough there. Short kick, finds Brockman. Brockman gets it back to Panozzo. What's he got in front of him? Short kick, Powell just comes across, takes the mark on a full burst. Powell, long kick, Phillippo's the target, and takes the mark in front of Statham. Wants to dish it off. Goes to Shirley. Shirley's kick to Passador, but Henschel just blocked his run. Got in the way. Nicholas out of there. The congestion. Wants to go with the left leg. Decides to hand pass to Sherwood, who really has nowhere to go. Arches the back. Has a bounce. Good play by Sherwood. Wants to duck inboard. Had Costa short. Ignored that. Kick forward. Moore takes the mark in front of Matthews. And maybe the chance of a late goal to Glenelg. To Robinson. Got a man wide in Panozzo in plenty of space. Woods gives him the lead. Panozzo with the build-up will kick it inside 50. The target may be Bell at the back. Thumped away. Hall. Good play. Has been terrific today. Cook kicked it off the ground. Hall, just misjudged it. Can Costa get there? Dives over. And a goal off the ground by Moore. That's the late goal that Glenelg were looking for. And Ben Moore kicks his third.
And Ben Moore, been one of the better players today for Glenelg. Just forced it forward. Stephen Hall's gone down for the wicket-keeper stop in cricket. And unfortunately, he's overrun the footy. Good desperation there by Kim Costa, just to make a contest with Stephen Hall. Just makes a contest there, and we see it finished off well by Ben Moore. As I said, being one of the better Glenelg players today.
13 kicks and 6 handballs.
Good effort from Ben Moore. Stephen Hall perhaps needs a backstop if that's how his wicket-keeping is going to go. Well, here's Sikalella breaking clear from the centre. Bounce up. His kick inside 50, looking for Passador, who came on the lead. Oh, well picked up. Turning around the corner, Regolo just straightens perfectly, slots home the goal. There's an answer that just reminds you that the Eagles are the top team this afternoon.
They certainly have. They won it out of the centre. Justin Sikalella, who has been strangely quite well held by Billy Neely today. Passador just creates a target and brings it forward. And Vinny Regalo has played the percentages really well today. He's been front and centre, straightens his body, didn't kick around the corner on his left foot. He knew as soon as he kicked it, he finished off nicely. And Vinny Regalo has had as an emerging player for the Eagles.
He's had 13 kicks and 14 handballs in just his 4th game.
Pretty good effort by Regolo. We saw him earlier in the season make his debut. And he just keeps getting better every time we see him. Getting very dark here at Glenelg. Good bounce by the umpire. Knocked down by Brockman. Taken by Robinson. The half back. Long kick. Allison in front, as he has been all day. Couldn't take the mark. Siren. It's all over. Just an outstanding performance this afternoon by the Eagles. As Paul Allison picks himself up. The handshakes go. There's Neely. A bit unhappy with the afternoon's work. But he did a good job against Sikalella. 18-10, 118, the Eagles. Glenelg, 10-12, 72.
Just a comprehensive victory by the Eagles here, though. Just after an initial slow start where Glenelg were really competitive, the Eagles certainly got on top in the second quarter and continued that trend on right throughout the game with some valuable competitions. They've certainly unearthed some good players, and Vinny Regalo was very impressive today. Ellis I like as a player. Trent Henschel played down back and was also instrumental. From the Glenelg point of view, it was disappointing today. Coming off a good win against Third at Unley, they certainly just lacked the ability to hit targets, I think, is the main thing that they've actually lost out on today. And unfortunately, they weren't up to it.
And Sam Filippo, who certainly showed he was up to it for the Eagles, is with Sodas.
Well, Big Sammy, 3 goals last week, 4 goals this week. Good return for you?
Yeah, it's good to get a few goals when you know, and the boys, we've had a good win today, so yeah, it's a good day.
Now, I'm not sure if you know this, but your 3rd goal today was actually your 200th career goal.
Look, I did know that I was near it, but no, I didn't realise that I kicked my 200th today, so yeah, it's good to do that.
Now, Sammy, you had a couple of years at Port Adelaide. What was the decision to actually come back home to the Eagles? How did you make that?
Look, you know, I had a good 5 years at Port and gave it my best, and just wanted to get back to my home club, back to my roots, and you know, finish my career here.
And importantly, the club now playing some really good football, consolidating that spot in the 4.
Yeah, that was the emphasis today, that we really needed to have a good win over Glenelg. Glenelg's, you know, an up-and-coming side, and we just needed to consolidate our spot in the top 4, and you know, hopefully I think we've done that today. So yeah, it's a good win.
Well, congratulations, mate. Go and enjoy a big win, and look forward to West Adelaide next week.
Good on you, Soda. Thanks, mate.
Sam Filippo there, one of a happy bunch of Eagles players. I guess at the end of the day, they expected to win, and they shook off a persistent Glenelg after quarter time.
I think they were very good in honesty and their consistency over the day, and just their commitment. Thought they were really hard at it as far as tackling and maintained that level for the entire day. And I think that's one of the positives that Ron Fuller would be looking for today in what I thought was a real danger game for the Eagles at the start of the day.
So we look at, well, it started out all right for the Bays, there's no doubt about that, but it was quickly a bit of a disaster. This is a great bounce. Michael Radis, I'm sure he planned it to start the game, but, gee, they found their running play, the Eagles, and at the end of the day, their Achilles heel in the past few years has been their forward line. They just haven't been able to finish effectively. But certainly this season, especially with Passador able to be up there and in front of goal, they've got options.
They certainly have, and I think the maturing of Trent Henschel is also going to be important for the Eagles in that he can go forward when Brent Fruin does return to the side, either next week or the week after. He can hold down that important centre-half back role, and that will enable to release Trent Henschel to go forward. It may well mean that Ellis might have to miss out when he takes spectacular marks like that, but Trent Henschel is going to be an important player for the Eagles come finals time.
Already looking that far ahead, are we, Andrew?
Well, if they're there, I suppose, Neil, I suppose. Look, they really have cemented a spot today. They've given themselves a nice little break. Coming into West Adelaide next week, which is obviously a top-of-the-table clash and one that will determine where the Eagles sit and perhaps find out whether West are actually pretenders or contenders.
Well, they met twice last season, and all the Magarey medal votes from both games went to Woodville West Torrens. So the margins there were 85 and 56 points. Where will your votes go today?
Oh, gee, it's a tough decision there. I'd probably, young Vinny Regala, I'd really like to probably get the 3 votes to today, with a number of others in there for the 2 and the 1.
OK. Soda's standing by on the ground now with, I guess, a pretty happy and satisfied Ron Fuller, the coach of the Eagles.
Well, Ron, congratulations on the win. Glenelg did start very well, but the boys stuck to the guns and finished off well.
It was good, Mark. Glenelg certainly came out the box, and that was another good test for us that we can quell that, absorb that, and still play some good footy at the end of it, so we're pretty happy with it.
And it was an important victory because you now sit in the top 4, 2 games clear of Port Adelaide and Sturt.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, the players made mention of it last night. They were well aware of it, and just the way they went about it was terrific. So, look, we play the top team next week, so we've got another challenge ahead of us there.
And with Brent Fruin out, you put Trent Henschel at centre-half back, and that experiment did come up trumps.
He played very well. He's got an enormous amount of talent, Trent. I thought he showed some terrific judgment as well. You know, he's got a fair way to go, but as you say, I think it proved a good move.
Well, Ron, well done today, and we look forward to next week's clash against West Adelaide.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks to Mark Soderstrom there, and there we see a pretty comprehensive win in the end and pretty comfortable win by 46 points for the Bays. Their 10th win in a row against Glenelg.
Yeah, just disappointing there at the end of the day. They just didn't get enough of the footy forward. The scoring shots tell a tale of sorts, but just weren't clean. As we had a look at the goal kickers, Ben Moore with 3 goals, I thought played pretty well. Michael Radis and Cook with 2 each. Woods, Neal and Panazzo with 1. And for the Eagles, the twin targets up forward, Passador and Filippo were good. Regalo, who I liked his game today, with 3. Pesh, Earl, Jeffries and McLaughlin with 1 each.
And we see the amount of run reflected in the handballing and total possessions. So centre breaks, pretty much the Eagles. And in the end, inside 50s reflect the actual way the match went.
Yeah, they certainly did. The Eagles just had too much of the play, too many good on-ballers getting their hands on the footy, and Glenelg were unable to shut them down. Centre breaks is that Paul Lindsay's dominance there was able to give them a centre break, and inside 50s were just way too much for the Glenelg defenders.
Yes, and one of those inside 50s resulted in what I would have thought was the mark of the day. 20-year-old Dale Ellis and Mark Soderstrom. You ever been up this high?
I haven't for many years, Neil. Only in an aeroplane. It was a sensational grab, wasn't it? And we did see him come off a little bit later because I think he was suffering from a little bit of sickness from getting up that high.
Yes, we're getting angle after angle on it, and yes, it was very good. Good to see the young players coming through, not the old men like you, Sodas.
No, definitely not, Neil. I think after watching that Legends game earlier, I reckon I might have had Andrew Rogers' measure, but that would just about be it, I think.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see you walking each other around the park, perhaps. We're going to have a look at the premiership table, just how it stands now. After round 11 of football, Central's leading the way with a good record of 8-2. Westies, the top team next week. We're going to see Westies against the Eagles, second versus third, and should be a very interesting contest at the Adelaide Oval. Sturt just sitting out of the 4 at the Premiers, and that is the value now of the top 4 as opposed to the top 5 that we've seen in past years.
It certainly is. In previous years, you could get through with a win-loss ratio of even. Now you can't, and just Port Adelaide a bad loss on the weekend to South Adelaide.
Yes, indeed. So next week, as I mentioned, our match of the day on the ABC will be the contest between the Bloods of West Adelaide and the Woodville West Torrens Eagles at the Adelaide Oval. The other matches you mentioned there, Port Adelaide going down by 8 points on the weekend to South Adelaide, and they will match up against Glenelg. North against Norwood, Sturt and South, very important clash, that one.
It's certainly Sturt able to get back on the rails. Norwood and North, well, Norwood will probably win that. North are really in a hole. And Glenelg and Port, a crunch game for both clubs.
So this afternoon, the winners, the Eagles, by 46 points. We'll see them again on Saturday afternoon. Join us from 2:30 on ABC Sport for the Eagles against West Adelaide. They'll be celebrating tonight, at least the Eagles. We'll find out on Saturday how they go against the top side Westies. Catch you then.